Ladies and gentlemen, love is one of the most powerful forces in human life, capable of bringing immense joy, fulfillment, and companionship. Yet, love is also a profound teacher, revealing truths about ourselves that we might otherwise ignore. Not every connection or affection is a divine blessing meant to last a lifetime. Some are mirrors that Allah places in our path, reflecting back our strengths, our vulnerabilities, and the areas where we need growth. Understanding this is crucial because it allows us to view relationships not solely through the lens of happiness or disappointment, but as opportunities for self-awareness, spiritual development, and preparation for the blessings that Allah has reserved for us. The first keynote explores the nature of love in life. Love is a gift, a test, and a tool for reflection. When we encounter someone who touches our hearts, we naturally seek permanence. Yet Allah's wisdom often places people in our lives temporarily to guide, teach, and shape us. Some relationships comfort us, some challenge us, and some reflect the parts of ourselves that we may not like to see. By recognizing love as both a blessing and a mirror, we shift our perspective from mere attachment to reflection, seeing each relationship as part of Allah's intricate plan. The second keynote examines when love becomes a mirror. Certain people reveal to us our own patterns, insecurities, and blind spots. Perhaps a relationship brings forth jealousy, impatience, or dependency we had not acknowledged. Perhaps it illuminates our capacity for empathy, patience, or forgiveness. These mirrors are not punishments, they are lessons. The Quran reminds us, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:286, and every interaction, including love, is calibrated to teach the soul exactly what it needs to learn. Recognizing this allows us to move beyond frustration and heartbreak and embrace each reflection as part of our spiritual and personal growth. The third keynote highlights lessons from the Quran. Allah's guidance consistently encourages self-reflection, patience, and trust. Verses such as, "And we test you with evil and with good as trial, and to us you will be returned." Surah Al-Anbiya 21:35 show that relationships, whether easy or challenging, are part of a divine curriculum. Through love we learn humility, restraint, and the power of surrender. The Quran teaches that Allah is always aware of what is best for us, even when our hearts long for someone or something that is ultimately not suited for our growth. By aligning our hearts with His wisdom, we learn to recognize that every interaction has a purpose beyond immediate pleasure or pain. The fourth keynote emphasizes real-life reflections. Many have experienced a love that ended unexpectedly, leaving confusion or sorrow, only to later realize it was a pivotal lesson in self-discovery. Perhaps a toxic attachment forced someone to confront their boundaries, self-worth, or emotional patterns. Perhaps a fleeting romance taught gratitude, empathy, or patience. These examples illustrate that love is not always a promise of happiness. It is often a reflection guiding the heart to see itself, its desires, and its growth areas more clearly. Those who learn this lesson emerge wiser, stronger, and prepared for future relationships that align with Allah's plan. The fifth keynote is embracing divine timing and self-discovery. True blessings are often delayed, but this delay is intentional, allowing the soul to prepare. When a love ends or challenges us, it is an invitation to trust Allah, reflect inwardly, and grow. Gratitude for these experiences, even when painful, transforms heartbreak into insight and sorrow into clarity. By surrendering to Allah's wisdom, the believer cultivates patience, self-awareness, and readiness for the blessings that are meant to endure, knowing that every reflection is a step toward the life and relationships that Allah has planned perfectly. Love is one of the most profound and transformative experiences a human being can encounter, yet it is often misunderstood in its true purpose. From a young age we are taught to seek love as a source of comfort, happiness, and validation, believing that finding the right person or experiencing the perfect relationship will fill the voids in our hearts. Society reinforces this belief through stories, media, and cultural norms that equate love with lasting joy and fulfillment. However, love is far more complex and nuanced than merely a source of pleasure or stability. In reality, love is also a mirror, a tool through which Allah teaches, guides, and shapes us into better versions of ourselves. While some love relationships are indeed blessings that bring growth, companionship, and fulfillment, others serve as reflections of our inner world, revealing truths about our character, habits, and emotional patterns that we might otherwise overlook. Understanding this distinction is critical because it allows us to navigate relationships with wisdom, patience, and awareness, recognizing that not every attachment is meant to last, yet each can be profoundly meaningful. The first aspect of love as a mirror is that it often reveals our strengths and weaknesses. When we care deeply for someone, our heart's responses, emotions, and reactions become magnified. We may notice tendencies such as impatience, insecurity, or pride that we did not fully acknowledge before. Conversely, love can also highlight our capacity for empathy, resilience, and selflessness. In this sense, every relationship, whether fleeting or enduring, provides an opportunity to understand ourselves more deeply. It reflects our habits, our emotional triggers, and the ways in which we communicate, nurture, and respond to challenges. This reflection is not meant to discourage or condemn, but to illuminate areas of personal growth that require attention and refinement. Furthermore, love as a mirror teaches us about our attachments and dependencies. Many people enter relationships seeking fulfillment outside themselves, hoping another person will complete them, validate them, or provide a sense of security. While this is a natural human desire, it can also become a source of imbalance and pain when the expectations placed on love exceed what it can realistically provide. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, uses certain relationships to gently confront us with our reliance on external validation and to redirect our attention inward, towards spiritual growth and trust in Him. When we recognize that no person can truly satisfy the deepest longings of the heart, we are guided to seek fulfillment through our connection with Allah, who alone is the source of true contentment, peace, and completeness. The Quran reinforces the idea that relationships are part of a divine plan, teaching that trials, blessings, and interactions are calibrated to the soul's development. Allah says, "Do you think that you will enter paradise while Allah has not yet made evident those of you who strive for it, and made evident the patient, and made evident the truthful?" Surah Muhammad 47:31. This verse underscores that life's experiences, including love, are tests and lessons. Some relationships challenge us in ways that bring growth and patience, teaching us to navigate emotions with wisdom, restraint, and understanding. Others provide companionship, mutual support, and joy, allowing us to experience the sweetness of human connection while remaining grounded in faith and gratitude. By viewing love as both a test and a blessing, we gain perspective, reducing attachment to outcomes and cultivating patience and acceptance. Real-life experiences further illustrate this principle. Many people encounter relationships that end abruptly or fail to meet expectations, leaving hearts heavy with sorrow or disappointment. Initially, these experiences may seem like losses or setbacks, but upon reflection, they often reveal crucial lessons about self-awareness, emotional boundaries, and what one truly values. A relationship that challenges us emotionally, for example, may teach patience, humility, and self-reflection, while one that provides joy and support can reinforce our ability to nurture and empathize. Both are valuable, both serve as mirrors showing us aspects of ourselves that shape our personal and spiritual growth. Recognizing the nature of love in this way transforms the way we approach relationships. Instead of seeking validation, control, or certainty, we begin to embrace love as a tool for self-discovery and spiritual. Every encounter becomes meaningful, every heartbreak an opportunity for reflection, and every act of affection a moment to observe the lessons embedded within. Love is not merely a path to happiness, it is a mirror through which Allah guides the heart, teaching patience, trust, and self-awareness, preparing us for the deeper blessings that await those who understand its true purpose. Some relationships are not meant to be permanent, they serve a deeper, often hidden purpose, reflecting back to us who we truly are. These are the kinds of love that act as mirrors, revealing the depths of our hearts and patterns that govern our behavior. When a connection brings discomfort, challenge, or heartbreak, it can feel unfair or painful at first. Yet these experiences are carefully placed by Allah to guide us towards self-awareness, spiritual growth, and a more profound understanding of our own emotions and desires. Every difficult encounter, every unmet expectation, and every challenge within a relationship is an opportunity to learn about ourselves, to confront our shortcomings, and to refine our hearts. Recognizing love as a mirror requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to see not only the beauty, but also the shadows within us. Love as a mirror often exposes our vulnerabilities. When we care deeply for someone, we naturally open our hearts, and this vulnerability can trigger emotions we may not fully understand. Jealousy, insecurity, fear of loss, or impatience may arise, revealing aspects of our character that we might have ignored or suppressed. These emotions, while uncomfortable, are not punishments. They are signals from Allah, highlighting areas for growth and introspection. By paying attention to how we respond to love, we gain insight into our attachment styles, emotional patterns, and the ways we navigate intimacy. This awareness is crucial because it allows us to address these tendencies constructively, rather than letting them control our relationships or our peace of mind. In addition to revealing vulnerabilities, these reflective relationships show us our desires and priorities. Sometimes we are drawn to people who do not align with our best interests, who challenge us in ways that test our patience or values. These experiences are lessons in discernment, teaching us to recognize what is truly beneficial for our hearts and what may be distracting or harmful. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, places such relationships in our path not to punish, but to educate and prepare us for more meaningful connections. By observing the ways certain relationships influence our thoughts, feelings, and actions, we begin to understand what we need to cultivate within ourselves, be it patience, self-respect, humility, or empathy, before we can embrace a love that is truly blessed. The Quran reminds us of the importance of reflection and self-awareness in navigating life's challenges, including relationships. Do not kill yourselves or one another. Indeed, Allah is to you ever merciful. Surah An-Nisa 4:29. While this verse primarily addresses the sanctity of life, it also highlights Allah's mercy in guiding us toward awareness and preservation of our well-being. Difficult relationships can feel emotionally taxing, but when approached with reflection and patience, they protect us from deeper harm and help us cultivate the strength and wisdom necessary for future blessings. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, and every challenge in love is opened up Allah's routine of resilience, self-knowledge, and trust in His plan. Real-life experiences make this principle tangible. A person may enter a relationship filled with hope and devotion, only to discover that the connection ends unexpectedly. Initially, this can feel devastating, yet over time the individual often realizes that the experience was revealing important truths about themselves, patterns of dependency, communication habits, or emotional triggers that needed attention. Similarly, relationships that challenge our patience, understanding, or humility push us to confront our flaws and to grow in ways that solitary reflection cannot achieve. These relationships act as mirrors, reflecting back to us exactly what we need to see to evolve spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Recognizing love as a mirror transforms the way we experience relationships. We begin to see not only the other person, but also ourselves within every interaction. We start to understand that heartbreak is not merely a loss but an invitation to introspection and personal growth. Emotional discomfort is not a punishment, but a divine signal, encouraging us to refine our hearts and prepare for love that aligns with Allah's wisdom. In this way, the challenges we face in relationships are not obstacles to happiness, but stepping stones towards self-discovery, spiritual maturity, and the readiness to receive the blessings that Allah has destined for us. By embracing this perspective, we learn to approach every connection with mindfulness. Even when love ends or disappoints, we can recognize its purpose as a mirror, guiding us to see ourselves clearly and to cultivate the qualities necessary for lasting, blessed relationships. These reflective experiences teach that love is not solely about pleasure, attachment, or permanence, but about insight, growth, and the preparation of the heart for what is truly meant to endure. The Quran provides profound guidance on relationships, love, and the purpose of our interactions, reminding us that not every connection is meant to last or bring immediate happiness. Allah has a wisdom behind every person He places in our lives, and understanding that wisdom requires reflection, patience, and trust. Some loves are blessings meant to enrich our lives, while others are mirrors that reveal who we truly are, guiding us towards self-awareness, growth, and spiritual development. The lessons embedded in these experiences often transcend the apparent outcomes of joy or sorrow, pointing instead to the deeper purpose Allah has for the heart and soul. By examining the Quran's teachings on patience, reflection, and reliance on Allah, we can better comprehend how every relationship carries significance, whether as a source of comfort or as a mirror revealing the inner workings of our hearts. One of the most important lessons the Quran teaches about relationships is the value of patience. Life is full of tests, and the connections we form are often part of those tests. Allah says, "And we will surely tempt you with something of fear and hunger, and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:155. While this verse broadly addresses trials, it also applies to relationships and love. Difficult or challenging connections are not meaningless. They are opportunities to practice patience, self-control, and perseverance. A love that tests our emotions, exposes our insecurities, or challenges our habits, is an invitation to cultivate inner strength, resilience, and reliance on Allah, rather than on the fleeting security of another person. Through such tests, we learn to stabilize our hearts, trust in divine timing, and develop the patience necessary to receive the blessings that are truly meant for us. Another lesson from the Quran is the importance of reflection and self-awareness. Allah encourages believers to examine themselves and their actions as means of spiritual growth. The verse, "Do they not reflect upon themselves? Allah created the heavens and the earth and everything between them in truth and for an appointed term, and yet many people deny that they will meet their Lord." Surah Ar-Rum 38 highlights the significance of self-reflection. Love often acts as a catalyst for this reflection. In every relationship, the emotions, reactions, and attachments we experience provide a mirror through which we can observe our true self. By reflecting on how we behave, what we desire, and how we respond to challenges, we gain insight into our own character and spiritual state. Love, therefore, it's not only about the other person but also about understanding ourselves and aligning our hearts with Allah's guidance. The Quran also emphasizes the importance of reliance on Allah, or tawakkul, especially in matters of the heart. And whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him. Surah Al-Talaq 65:3. When a relationship ends or does not unfold as we hoped, it can be tempting to feel despair or regret. However, by trusting Allah and recognizing that He knows what is best for us, we can view such experiences as part of His divine plan. Relationships that mirror our strengths and weaknesses are reminders to place ultimate trust in Allah's wisdom rather than in human attachment alone. This reliance alone allows the heart to find peace, even amid disappointment, and opens the door for future blessings that align with divine will. Real-life experiences consistently reflect these Quranic principles. Many people experience relationships that challenge their patience, emotional maturity, or self-understanding. Initially, such connections may seem painful or discouraging, yet over time they reveal critical lessons. They teach boundaries, the importance of self-respect, and the need for clarity in desires and values. Others serve as blessings, offering support, companionship, and encouragement. Both types of relationships are integral to personal and spiritual growth. They demonstrate that Allah places people in our lives strategically, either to nurture us or to reflect our inner selves, ensuring that we are prepared for the relationships and blessings He has truly destined for us. By integrating the Quran's guidance into our understanding of love, we can approach relationships with a sense of purpose, patience, and reflection. Even when a connection challenges us or ends unexpectedly, we can trust that it serves a higher purpose to reveal truths about ourselves, to cultivate resilience, and to prepare the heart for the blessings Allah has ordained. Recognizing the divine wisdom in relationships transforms heartbreak into insight, challenge into growth, and fleeting love into a mirror through which we come to understand ourselves more deeply and prepare for the enduring joys that await in Allah's perfect plan. Real-life experiences often provide the clearest illustrations of how love can serve as a mirror, reflecting our innermost selves and guiding us toward growth. Many people enter relationships with expectations of happiness, stability, and validation, only to encounter challenges, disappointments, or even heartbreak. While these experiences can initially feel like setbacks, they frequently reveal profound truths about our character, our habits, and the ways we engage with others emotionally. A relationship that ends unexpectedly may expose patterns of dependency, insecurity, or a lack of boundaries, while one filled with tension or disagreement can highlight areas where patience, empathy, or humility is needed. By reflecting on these experiences, we begin to see that not every love is meant to provide comfort or permanence. Some are intentionally placed by Allah to show us aspects of ourselves that require attention, healing, or refinement. Consider the example of a person who invests deeply in a romantic relationship only to face repeated misunderstandings or conflicts. At first, it may seem as though the other person is the source of frustration or disappointment. However, upon closer reflection, one may recognize that the reactions, insecurities, and emotions stirred within are telling a deeper story about personal growth needs. Perhaps this relationship has illuminated tendencies to be overly controlling, to fear abandonment, or to prioritize others' approval over self-respect. These lessons, while difficult to confront, are invaluable because they reveal the aspects of character that need refinement. In this sense, love acts not merely as a source of pleasure or attachment, but as a mirror, reflecting back the truths of the heart so that growth and self-awareness can occur. Many spiritual teachers and scholars emphasize that these mirrored experiences are part of Allah's divine will. Just as a mirror shows what is hidden from view, certain relationships reveal qualities, patterns, and tendencies that are otherwise overlooked. A difficult or fleeting relationship may teach humility, patience, forgiveness, or resilience, providing practical training for the heart. Conversely, a relationship that offers joy, support, and companionship allows the individual to cultivate gratitude, generosity, and emotional stability. Both types of experiences are essential for growth. Recognizing them as purposeful mirrors, rather than random misfortunes, transforms our perspective and allows the heart to approach love with insight, awareness, and spiritual maturity. The Quran reminds us that every interaction, trial, and relationship carries a purpose in shaping the believer's heart. And we test you with evil and with good as trial, and to us you will be returned. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:35. While this verse encompasses life's broader tests, it applies directly to relationships as well. Trials within love, whether heartbreak, betrayal, or unmet expectations, serve as divine lessons. They reveal where patience, reflection, or reliance on Allah is needed and prepare the heart for relationships aligned with divine wisdom. In this context, love is not merely about attachment or desire. It is about spiritual education and preparation for enduring blessings. Personal anecdotes also highlight the transformative power of mirrored love. Someone may have experienced a relationship that ended abruptly, leaving them in pain and confusion. Over time, they may realize that the experience revealed critical lessons about self-worth, boundaries, or emotional resilience. Another person may find that a challenging relationship forced them to confront anger, impatience, or judgmental tendencies, ultimately leading to personal growth and a deeper connection to their own values. Even relationships that seemed entirely negative or unfulfilling at the time can serve as mirrors, offering insights and preparation for future love that is nurturing, healthy, and aligned with Allah's plan. Understanding love as a mirror encourages the believer to approach every relationship with reflection, patience, and awareness. It reframes heartbreak, disappointment, and challenge as opportunities for growth rather than punishments or failures. By observing the ways relationships illuminate strengths, weaknesses, and hidden patterns, the heart develops resilience, emotional intelligence, and spiritual alignment. Love in this sense is never wasted. Every interaction carries wisdom, every reflection carries a lesson, and every connection, whether temporary or lasting, guides the believer towards self-awareness, preparation, and readiness for the blessings Allah has destined for their life. By embracing this perspective, one can navigate love with clarity, gratitude, and understanding, seeing each connection not only as an external experience, but also as a mirror of the soul. Recognizing that some loves are meant to end, not to punish but to teach, empowers the heart to grow, heal, and prepare for the enduring relationships that align with divine wisdom and bring true contentment, fulfillment, and spiritual depth. Embracing divine timing and self-discovery is the final key to understanding the purpose of love in our lives. Not every connection is meant to last, and not every affection is a permanent blessing. Some relationships serve a higher purpose to prepare the heart, illuminate personal growth areas, and teach us patience, self-awareness, and reliance on Allah. When a love ends or challenges us deeply, it is often a sign that Allah is moving us towards something greater, something more aligned with our spiritual and emotional readiness. Trusting in divine timing allows the believer to see beyond immediate pain and disappointment, understanding that every experience is orchestrated with wisdom and care, designed to guide the soul toward its ultimate fulfillment. Divine timing reminds us that the heart must be ready to receive blessings in their fullest form. Just as a seed cannot flourish before the soil is prepared, our hearts cannot fully embrace love that is healthy, nurturing, and sustainable until we have learned the lessons required for that stage of growth. Relationships that mirror our strengths and weaknesses are essential in this preparation. They challenge us to confront our fears, insecurities, and emotional patterns, and in doing so they cultivate resilience, patience, and humility. By trusting that Allah knows the perfect moment for true blessings to arrive, we can release attachment to outcomes, and focus instead on becoming the person capable of sustaining and cherishing the love that is meant to endure. The Quran emphasizes the importance of patience, trust, and reflection in navigating life's trials and blessings. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:11. This verse highlights the necessity of inner work before external blessings can manifest fully. Love in this sense is both a test and an opportunity. Some relationships test our readiness, showing us where growth is needed, while others are blessings that align with our preparedness. By understanding that the timing of these experiences is intentional, we cultivate a mindset that embraces patience and trust rather than frustration, resentment, or longing. Real-life experiences provide vivid examples of this principle. Consider someone who has endured heartbreak, disappointment, or unfulfilled love. Initially, it may feel as though life is unfair, that happiness is elusive, or that they have been deprived of joy. Yet over time, many realize that these experiences were preparing them, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, for the love that would truly align with their growth and needs. A challenging relationship may have taught them empathy, patience, and self-respect, while a fleeting connection may have revealed the importance of boundaries, discernment, and gratitude. Each experience, whether joyful or painful, contributes to the readiness of the heart to embrace love that is enduring, meaningful, and blessed by Allah. Self-discovery is an inseparable aspect of this process. Relationships that mirror our inner world provide a rare opportunity to reflect on our character, values, and desires. They show us how we handle attachment, disappointment, and emotional vulnerability, and they reveal the qualities we need to cultivate to thrive in future connections. Through reflection, prayer, and contemplation, we learn to release what no longer serves us, to heal emotional wounds, and to align our hearts with divine guidance.
This self-awareness ensures that when true blessings arrive, we can recognize, nurture, and sustain them in a way that honors both our growth and Allah's wisdom. Gratitude and surrender are central to embracing divine timing. By trusting that Allah places relationships in our path for a purpose, we learn to release resentment, longing, or regret. Instead, we cultivate gratitude for the lessons, reflections, and growth each connection provides. Surrendering to Allah's plan fosters peace in the heart, allowing us to navigate love with clarity, wisdom, and readiness. We begin to understand that the ending of one connection is not a loss but a redirection, an invitation to prepare for the blessings that are truly aligned with our spiritual, emotional, and personal growth. Through trust in divine timing and intentional self-discovery, the believer learns to navigate love with patience, clarity, and faith. Every relationship, whether it lasts or ends, serves a purpose in the heart's development, preparing the soul for enduring blessings. By embracing this understanding, we cultivate a heart that is ready to receive love fully, with wisdom, gratitude, and the awareness that Allah's timing is perfect, and that every reflection, every lesson, and every experience is part of a divine plan that leads to true fulfillment, joy, and spiritual depth.